Good evening. My name is Sarah Kai. Tonight I'm going to present my final project, AWS Simple Workflow Service. I'm going to cover a couple of topics. First, I'm going to explain what is AWS Simple Workflow Service and what are the key components. And then I will explain what software is used and how did I implement Calculate application by utilizing AWS WF. And I'm going to do a work demo, and finally I'm going to talk about the lesson that I have learned. According to Amazon, AWS Simple Workflow Service provides a powerful and flexible way for developer to implement distributed asynchronous workflow application. AWS Simple Workflow Framework is a programming framework that simplifies the process of implementing a distributed asynchronous application while providing all the benefits of Amazon SWF. It is ideal for implementing applications that addresses a broad range of scenarios, including business processing, media encoding, long-running tasks, and background processing. Any programming language can be used to write for business logic. As long as you can communicate with Amazon SWF using Web Service API, the AWS SDK is currently available in Java, .NET, PHP, and Ruby. AWS Simple Workflow Service has a couple of key components. It includes workflow, activity worker, activity task, and decider. Workflow is a set of activities that carry out some objective, together with logic that coordinate the activities. Activity worker is a program that receives activity tasks, performs them, and provides result back. Activity task represents one invocation of an activity. Decider is a program that does the coordination logic in a workflow. On this diagram, the Calculate application has 4 components, which run as individual Java processes. Each of them interact with Amazon SWF via HTTP requests. And Amazon SWF maintains the Calculate workflow task and activity task. It also schedules the workflow invocation based on the HTTP request. At the end, it will call the activity worker to do the actual work. I use Windows 8.1 to build the project. Java 1.8, Eclipse Neon, AWS SDK for Java are used for this project. SWF Command Console is used to monitor workflow invocation. Now I'm going to show you the code. So on this project, I have a couple of Java classes. Addition activity.java. So this one, we use the annotation activities is used to register addition activities to SWF, and it is a Java interface with the method of add. And this add method is implemented by the addition activity implementation. It will do the actual addition. And it's the same thing for the subtraction activity. So this is the interface for subtraction activities. Use the annotation of activities to register itself to SWF. And we have the Calculate workflow, which use the annotation workflow to register itself as the Calculate workflow to SWF. And The activity host is the process which hosts all addition activities. This is the start point for the addition activities. We are going to start this addition activity, run as Java application. So we start the addition activity. Then we can start the subtraction activities. Run as Java application. Subtraction activity is started. Now we need to start the workflow. And finally, this one will take the user input to build the calculate object. So we enter number 45. Now we enter the second number 67. Then we enter the operation plus. And here, the addition activity will perform the task. And I'm going to do one more demo. So the second input, 90. This time I'm going to do a subtraction. And the subtraction activity is doing the actual work. And let's go back to the admin console to see what's going on here. So in the Amazon, after you log into the admin console, click on Service, click on SWF, and you will be brought to the Simple Workflow Service dashboard. Here you can see my domain is here, and I have closed the execution over the last hours. So if I click those 2 completed execution, I can see the execution here, the 2 execution here. If I click on one of the execution, and drill down, now I can see the workflow type, which is actually mapped to the Java source code. Calculate workflow here. And then, then it has the events which show how SWF manages the communication among the different business components. And if you click on the first event ID, you will see the calculate object that I passed in from the starter program. And if you click on this event, you are going to see activity task is scheduled with the 2 input numbers, 78 and 90. And if you click on activities, then you will see that the subtraction was done. And this is a workflow execution. We can take a look at the workflow type. So I have a couple of the workflow type. This is the one that related to the project. If you click on this, you can see I have 2 closed execution and the detail of the workflow type. And if you click on activity types, then I have the addition activity types, which is mapped to the Java code addition activities. And let's go back to the workflow. And if you click on the activity type again, And let's take a look at the subtraction activity. And these are details of subtraction activities. There are a couple of things that you need to do when you build the project. So the first thing, you have to make sure that you have the simple workflow tool plugin installed. So this is what I did. So here, you type in this one. Get the Eclipse plugin from Amazon, and you have to click on this one, click on this one. You probably can skip the third one and click on the fourth one and do the installation. That way you can get the Amazon SDK plugin for Eclipse installed. And after installation, you will see please make sure that in the installation detail, you see the AWS Simple Workflow Tools plugin is installed. And when you set up the project properties, there are two more things you have to be careful. One is in the build path. Please include the SDK, AWS SDK for your library. The other things, for the Java compiler, click on the annotation process. Make sure that you have the project-specific annotation is clicked. And then you can do a build, project build. It will generate the client code for the activity worker and the workflow worker to communicate with SWF. Those are the generated client proxy code for my business components to interact with SWF. Lesson learned. For me, setting up the right build environment is critical. I was trying to build a project using Ant build, but I couldn't produce the Ant auto-generated client initially because the standard SDK doesn't have the annotation processor. So I used the Eclipse plugin, AWS Simple Workflow. So this one, this plugin enable me to build the projects which generate the client code. Advantage and disadvantage. Amazon Simple Workflow Service makes distributed programming easy, but troubleshooting of data flow among different components can be challenging. If SWF Console can provide a way for users to download the communication log, that will be more helpful. I would definitely recommend this service because it is scalable, easy to implement, and cost-effective. Thank you.